are back with another discussion on my new book, For the Love of My Father, which is available on Amazon. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, I'm Olivia S. Benson, and we are continuing our discussions on my book, For the Love of My Father. If you are new to the channel, please give us a thumbs up if you find our discussions helpful. And if you are returning, welcome back, and please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel as well. Today we're doing something different, and I'm with my friend Janara.
Hi.
Hi. Super excited about that. We are going to be talking about her experiences, her family life, her experiences with her father. Janara is from Kyrgyzstan. And she, of course, bought the book, and we've been talking about my life experiences in terms of growing up without my father and what her life experience has been from growing up in Kyrgyzstan. I always say, like, when I meet somebody from a country that I've never met before, I'll always say, oh, you're my first person from this country. And so Janara is my first person from Kyrgyzstan. So I am super excited. So let's get started. So tell me a little bit about your life and your relationship with your dad and, your brothers and your sisters and things along those lines.
My father, he's my first big love.
Wonderful.
And of course it's gonna be forever,
Mm-hmm.
And then of course I grew up with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think and I'm sure that I'm really lucky person
Mm-hmm.
to have my father in my life.
Mm-hmm. Are you getting like emotional? You sounded
Oh
like
yes, I am, because that really, it's my father. He's the it's the best person in my life. It's he's the everything for me. He's the good provider for, it's just because of him I have a good life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He gave me many things. Maybe some kids, they can say, oh yeah, my father, he pay for that, everything he buy for that, so it's not about my father. He don't care about money. He always makes sure what I'm thinking right and I'm doing right things, and then he always makes sure what I am in the right place.
And it's interesting because when we were talking, before we started, you said that your dad gave you a feeling of love.
Oh yeah, that's why I have the good connection with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's not only my father, he's my best friend also. We
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any problem to talk with him
Mm-hmm.
with everything,
Mm-hmm.
like so it's the one day he just asked me to talk about his first marriage.
Out of a clear blue sky? He just all of a sudden asked you?
Yeah, I mean, it's because I didn't know what he was married before. But I think he finds some some good time to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
How old is he, by the way?
like I was in the 13.
When he asked you to talk about the
Yeah,
first?
13.
Oh wow, that's something. Okay.
Yeah, so it's I was in the 13 years old, and then when he told me what he have two daughters from the first marriage, I was
That was the first
surprised.
time you found out?
Yes.
Okay.
And then when he told me about the two daughters, I was very excited, I was really happy because I have only one sister. And then I have 3 brothers, so I'm rich.
Wow.
Yes, and then I was, happy. My question was, what are these?
Right.
I want to see them.
You-
Let's go now,
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
So my father said, oh my gosh, like I didn't know. I thought you're gonna cry. No, like something. how I'm your daughter, you know, because so it's many. You know, I was really happy, and,
Right.
and I can see his eyes. I remember
Right.
his eyes,
Right.
happy eyes.
Okay. He was happy because you were happy.
Yes. So and then
Because he had thought that you
And-
weren't going to be happy.
and he wants to explain to me why they not together.
Oh, okay.
I you know, this time when I heard about his daughters, I mean my two sisters, I was happy and I do nothing.
Right.
Like, and but anyway, he told me, he said, listen, Dara, so it's my first marriage was like that. So it's we got some issue, and then this time he feel he wants to just walk away.
Right.
He left from the house.
From where the other sisters were.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they divorced, and my father, he didn't took anything from the home. I mean, you know,
He left everything
the house,
there.
everything is there. So yeah, so and like after a couple years, he met my mother,
Mm-hmm.
and then they get married, and then they have like all of us,
Right.
five-
New family.
yeah, new family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then one day it's my mother, she was, I can see in her eyes, she's so like worried, something
Mhm.
like that. And I asked her, I say, are you okay? Something wrong?
Mhm.
You can tell me,
Mhm.
maybe I can do something.
Mm-hmm.
Said, no, this about your two sisters. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. So it's what about it? I mean,
Mm-hmm. What's going on?
what's going on? She said, no, I need to talk first with your father.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. So and then after that, it's I find out what my mother, she's trying to take that two girls
Mm-hmm.
and my father, she's trying to make them to meet
Oh.
with each other.
Oh.
Because this was best time to, because the older one, she's going to marry,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom said, hey, you need to do something. This is your last chance to make your kid it's
Mhm.
happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she needs you. You
Mm.
are the father,
Mm.
so you need to be there. If you want, I can be next to you.
Mm-hmm. She couldn't be next to him. Is that what you said? That your mother would not want to be next to him if he didn't do it.
No, I mean, if he was caring to go
Mhm.
that by himself,
Mhm.
can
she was
go,
with
yes,
him. She could go
yes,
with him.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So it's and of course my father's its first answer was, oh no, you know, it's already, it's, you know,
Right.
many years.
Right.
I'm not really know
Right.
they want me or not, you know. So
Mhm.
say, don't worry about it. You just need to be there. She's going to marry. So maybe she needs something, because in my like mentality, when the woman she going to marry, we have to make so much like gifts,
Preparation
you know? Yes.
and gifts and all that.
So much
In the culture.
yes
Yes.
yes
Mhm.
yes. So it's and then my mother said, if my older daughter she going to marry, so she wants to do this, you know. So it's and then that two girls,
Mhm.
the older one, she
Mhm.
going to marry, so make sure that she have everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then my father, he like stopped talk like more than 30 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and said next day we will talk about it. And so my mother said, okay. So the next day they talk and said, okay, I'm ready.
And he was ready to go.
Yes, and they go.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
They go.
Okay.
And then after that, my mother, she invited her to come see us, to like,
Right.
you know, to me, my 3 brothers and sisters,
Right.
but they have a big families.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the first one, my older sister, she come visit us. I can tell she was really worried about it because she don't know how we're gonna.
She was uncomfortable.
Yes,
Right.
so we will be happy to see her or
Right.
not. So we was happy. Yes, and then it's
It was okay. It turned out okay.
yes and no because she the little bit later I just find out that she don't really care about us. She just care about the money.
Okay. Okay. So now is my chance to break this down because this is what I hear. Okay. So your dad had been married before.
Yes.
And he had 2 children.
Yes.
And at some point that relationship breaks down and he leaves them with everything, right? He leaves everything. So there's an element of care there because he's not taking anything away. He leaves the wife and the 2 daughters with everything. So that is pretty good because some people don't do
Because
that.
of man.
Yes.
He's
So
a real man.
he's a real man.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he says, I'm leaving you, but I'm leaving you with stuff so you can take care of it. He remarries, and then he's a great dad because at some point he says, and you're only 13.
Yes.
But he wants to tell you.
Yes.
He wants to tell you personally, listen. And not only does he want to tell you he has 2 daughters, he wants to explain to you what happened.
Yes.
So that's amazing. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So your dad is in I don't know the circumstances, the total story, and we don't have time to get into every little detail, right? But this in and of itself speaks of who your dad is. But now your mother, she's the next element
Oh yeah.
because she comes in, you see she's worried and you realize she's worried because one of the daughters, first of all, she wants the daughters to get together with their dad,
Yeah.
right? And then she says one of them is getting married.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, it's your daughter. And it doesn't matter how she responds, it's your daughter. And culturally, there's so many things that need to happen,
Yes.
and you need to be there.
There.
So now we're speaking of a man who has conscience, right? And has thoughts. He's thinking about the other ones. He's thought about them.
Yeah.
And your mother who jumps in and is a good woman and says, not that I am the second wife or the next woman and I don't care about the other ones, but I care about the prior ones just as I care for my children. And this first daughter is getting married and all these things have to happen. When my first daughter gets married, I want those things for her too.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't I want it for that one
Yes.
as well? So you're really talking about some, really amazing people.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Amazing people. Now, the one thing that's interesting though is because I'm sort of like the first 2, because I'm like from my dad's, let's say his first relationship.
Okay.
And then there's an element, and this happens a lot with kids, where the first group of children don't get the attention of the father, and that creates a resentment. And that's when I stopped you because you were going to say, I think you were getting ready to say that you found out that at least one of your sisters only care about the money.
Right.
But then from my perspective, I'm thinking, well, maybe she only cared about the money because she figured she didn't have her dad. Do you think that's possible?
It's like 2 different persons.
Mm-hmm.
That happened, first of all, why it's because of my mother, because of my mom, she really loved my dad.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's happened. Without love, without respect,
Mm-hmm.
your man, it's never happened.
Mm-hmm.
If you love someone, I mean, of course, if my father, he's a good man, that's
Right.
why she want to do that.
Right.
If he's not, of course, oh no, just,
Right. Whatever.
yeah,
Whatever.
whatever. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But can you understand how, like, say for me, I didn't feel that way. I don't feel like, oh, he didn't give me anything, he wasn't there for me, whatever the case might be. That's never been my story. Even though my dad was I have to tell you just right out, I don't know how far you've gotten with the book. This is the book. But even though my dad was not a good dad in any way, shape, or form, I still loved my dad. So I didn't have that feeling like, well, yeah. But could you understand how somebody could feel that way? Like, he wasn't here for me. Why should I,
I understand that feelings. I never judge them because
Okay.
because of that I never feel that.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
I don't know how to be without father.
Okay. That's
So
fair. That's very fair.
It's I cannot judge, and I don't know what they feel.
Right.
I don't know how to be without father because every time, sometimes we have some little issue with mother.
Right.
You always can go to your father.
Right. Okay.
So this time, no one.
Right. Exactly.
So it's yeah, that's why even she do like wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
We just
Right.
keep trying to be nice to her
Yes. Yes.
because she don't understand us. We
Right.
don't understand her
That's the thing.
because of
Different life experience. Different life experience.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I mean, look at how you describe your dad in the very beginning. I mean, he's my best friend. He's there for me all the time. It makes you emotional. He gave you the feeling of love. Imagine that she didn't get, or either one of them. Imagine that they didn't get that.
Yeah.
That's tough. And I think you said the right thing. I can't judge them.
Of course, it's it's very difficult, and then of course I'm very thankful to God what I grew up with my father.
Right.
It's many good things, it's I still feel even okay. I'm more than 4 years old, okay, but
Did you hear that? I'm not admitting how old I am.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
it's but I have my dad. That's why I still feel like I'm 15 years old.
Yes. Yes.
Mm,
So he
maybe not every day, but
Right.
it's like 3-4 times a week.
Right.
I spoke with him,
Right.
and then he talked with me like I'm still like
15.
15 years old, like baby,
That's wonderful.
That I every day, every morning, when I have a time, I'm trying to start my morning with him. Even when I have the coffee, I want to talk with him. I want to see his eyes.
Oh, wonderful. That's so
It's,
wonderful.
Yeah, that's why it's no, I never can judge the people who tell, even that they say something bad about the dad, what they not grow
Right.
up with that, So because maybe that kids, they have a bad time and they need the dad this time. So only they know.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Exactly.
So even it's very hard to say something.
Yes.
Whew. Because I have my dad,
Yes, I
have my
know,
dad.
I know. So then, we wanted to talk about so many things, but it's gone so quickly.
Yeah.
And what I would ask you is sort of like in the lines of what you're talking about. So when you read the book and you see that I say, listen, I did not grow up with my dad. My dad was not a good father. And you just heard me say that despite that, I still loved him. Can you imagine what it would be like to grow up without your father? Because I think you said, there's no way you could imagine what that would be like. All right, so the question is, do you think, can you even, given everything that you said about your dad and what he means to you, can you imagine when I say that I grew up without my father, or that I had a bad relationship with my father, and all the things that I say in the book, can you imagine what that would be like?
No, I can imagine. No, I know different way.
You only know your particular way.
I have my father, not only like father, he's the best father in my life. So
Mhm.
that's why it's very hard to imagine to
Right. Even get that perspective.
No.
You can't.
no.
Well, so you've known me for a few years.
Yes.
And you've seen the kind of person that I am.
Oh yeah, I love you.
Oh, that's so sweet. I didn't
That's
pay her.
why
I didn't
I'm
pay her to say that. I did
That's
not
why
pay
you're
her
here.
to say that. But what did you say? That's why you're here?
That's why I'm here.
Oh, thank
why
you.
I'm here.
Really, thank
So-
you. So the thing is, there are so many girls out there and so many women out there who've had this experience. It's good to talk to you because number one, you're from another country, right?
Yeah.
And you're sharing your experience. And number two, you were talking about a good father, you know, because in a lot of the conversations, oh, daddy's not here, but you have an experience of a good daddy, one that was,
Thanks God.
so yes, thank God, amen. That was really good to you and a number of different things, and so that's really good. But I've been also fortunate in that despite the fact that my dad was absent and he was not a good dad in my life, I have been blessed to have come into a way of life and a spiritual understanding to help me to heal my life so that I can be the person that I am.
Right.
And this is why I wrote For the Love of My Father, which you bought and you are reading.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate your support. It's For the Love of My Father and it's available on Amazon. And I appreciate you coming and sitting down. I know you're a busy woman. You have a lot of things to do. So it's really nice of you to come and spend the time to do this. So I really want to encourage you, first of all, you know, because many times we all think, you know, all men are this or all men are that or all are cheaters or all are bad dads or whatever. No, that's not the case. There are many good men in the world. And we need to recognize that. So today is an opportunity for you to hear from someone what an amazing dad she has, and fortunately still has, had and still has, and to look at that and to know that that is very much possible in the world. And then from my perspective, I have a completely different life experience, but at the same time, it's possible to come into the world and have a negative experience and then heal your life and be able to be a force for good. Right. So from my experience, I'm able to write, I'm able to tell you that there's a way that you can heal your life, that you can be whole, and that you can make a difference in the world. Jana, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And please, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. We have other videos available. Please take a look at those as well. You can like, you can subscribe, and you can hit the notification button. You can also follow me on Facebook. It's Olivia S. Benson. Actually, on Facebook, it's author Olivia S. Benson. So please follow me there. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. And my website is oliviasbenson.com. We got cups and t-shirts and other things that I've written that are available there. And I'd love you to leave a comment if you have any questions or anything else that you'd like me to discuss. So thank you, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jana.
Thank you.
Janara.